Hello, everybody. It's Teacher Casey. Just kidding. It's me. Hi. It's Teacher Rebekah here. Teacher Casey asked me to come on her channel today and talk about the Outschool updates. So here we go. Teacher Casey, you're so wonderful, but bye-bye. You're gone. I can always bring her back later. So she's on vacation this week. So I'm going to talk about the Outschool updates. And there are some doozies today. Oh my goodness gracious. Some weeks we don't get much information and we just kind of have to give you some tidbits of what we've been learning. But today we actually have some policy news. So let's head on over there. Whew. Here's my email. Pulling up the policy news. Now, this email was sent out Wednesday, November 17th. So if you have your email open, you can also go back and look at it. It's given out to teachers, maybe parents, mostly teachers. So here's the big one, using external teaching tools. Okay, a lot of teachers use extra things in their classrooms, like Kahoot, YouTube, Nearpod, those kinds of things. And we have to very be careful with what we use. Okay, says beginning in 2022, Outschool will refine its class submission policy and require educators teaching learners under the age of 13 to use third-party teaching tools that Outschool approves. This approval is based on whether the tool meets the U.S. legal requirements on protecting children's privacy online. Many of these websites children go to and they log in as themselves, and so there is an age requirement for them, so 13 and up. Can use them, but if you're younger than 13, there is a privacy thing. So let's click and learn more a little bit. It is a pretty long read, so I'm just going to skim over a little bit. So you can check out this handbook. It's called Using External Tech Tools in Your Classroom. Pretty much is saying that in early January 2022, they're going to totally revise and revamp some things, so be ready. Take the next 2 months, well, month and a half really, to go back through your class listings to figure out what you need to do in your class listings to change things, okay? So pretty much here is that we are, it will change to further ensure that teachers only use legally compliant external tools with their learners who are younger than 13 years old, as required under COPPA. What do you guys use in your classroom? Do you just you and yourself? Do you use other technology things? Do you send them a link after class for them to go visit another page? What do you do? And how does this affect you? Okay. So then they're going to update the class submission process. So first, let's define the third-party teaching tools. Okay. Now, a third-party or external tool right here is any website or learning management system requiring that learners leave the Outschool platform to use that tool. A few common examples include Google Classroom, YouTube, and Nearpod. Some of these tools may be appropriate to use with learners under 13, but some may not be. Now, I've been doing some research, doing some feelers out with the Facebook groups, and what I can come up with is that YouTube can be okay because they embed it. If you put a link in your Outschool classroom, when you open the link, it opens up in a pop-up window, and they have to go out of their way to watch in YouTube, which means they can just watch that one video and then it's done. Okay, it won't go video to video and then get to like random things that maybe parents don't want them to watch. There's just that one video. So YouTube might be okay if you just post the link because you're embedding it in the Outschool. It's also okay if you share screen. So during class, you can use some of these things, but afterwards, if they can click it, be careful. Okay, I'm not an expert on this, but just be careful. Okay. There will be more information coming out in December of how to best utilize these, what is approved, what's not approved. A lot of people asking questions. Outschool's helping a little bit, but you know, you just have to kind of do what you think is best, but be very careful, okay? Especially with clickable links. So I'm just gonna skim by the list. This is a long read. So we're skimming by, how do I know what classes I will use? So for new classes, so beginning mid-December, the class submission process will include a new option to select which age-appropriate and legally compliant external resources will be used in your lessons. We'll be publishing a step-by-step guide on how to choose approved resources, add them to your class listing, and notify parents that their learners will be visiting an external website platform during class when this feature launches in December. So if you have people going to like the Minecraft website or Kahoot, or they need to have a second device in their classroom, so one device is the video and one device is them actually doing the game, you will have to note that in the class submissions, okay? For existing classes or classes approved before mid-December, you need to go and update your class listings. So make sure you, I'm just going to summarize, make sure you go in and you update those. So think in your head, go through your class listings in your head, see what you need to update. How many classes do you guys have to update? Thinking of my classes, I teach math and science, and a lot of my things are just screen share, things that I've made up myself, games I made myself, science experiments that I have researched myself. We just do it together with them. So I don't really share a lot of external things. Every once in a while, I'll screen share a YouTube video, like a snippet of it, if I feel like it fits with the content. But I'm not sharing that video for them afterwards. They will have to go out of their way to search what I showed them. So I'm thinking that's okay, especially if I only use like 2 or 3 minutes of a 10-minute video. What do you guys think? Is that okay? Do you think it's okay? Because I found some really cool ones that I use every once in a while. Not in every class. I don't intro my stuff with a YouTube video. It's me, but then a snippet of anything I found. Okay, so what should I do now? Okay, even though it does not get into effect until early January, like January 1st, okay, go through now, figure out some things that you need to change, figure out what other websites you can use. I'm going to give you some, a list. Oh, wait, there was okay, view approved resources. There was a list of unapproved. Okay, so view approved resources. So here are the unapproved resources for learners under 13. So if you use any of these external resources, you got to think of alternatives, okay? So it says here, you may continue to use video materials such as Teacher Pay Teachers or Vimeo in your classroom presentations and lectures, as long as you're not linking to them or giving learners under 13 a way to click into any of these sites on their own. Okay, so you can't use Amazon, Boom Learning, ChessKid, DLTK, Dropbox, Facebook, Flippity, GitHub, Gutenberg, Home with Holly, Learn Piano Live, Lichess, I'm butchering that one, I'm sorry. Math Playground, musictheory.net, Pinterest, Purpose Games, Quantum Physics for Kids, Quia, Quizzes, Replit, Rockalingua, Screencast-O-Matic, Supercoloring, Teachers Pay Teachers, VideoLink, Vimeo, impermissible for under 16, ViewPure, and WordWall. Now, these are the approved resources. So all those, you got to stop, okay? Or figure out other ways to do it like in class, but don't have a link for them to do afterwards or during class. Okay, everything has to be teacher-led. So here are the approved resources for learners under 13. ABC, yeah. CK12 Flexbooks, code.org, dndwizards.com, Duolingo, GimKit, IXL Learning, Kahoot. Hey, Kahoot's on the approved list. Yay! I think it was on the unapproved, but yay, that's good. Okay, Khan Academy, Nearpod. Okay, good. Quizlet, Scratch, Smithsonian Magazine, Spelling City, Splash Learn, Wikipedia.org, Canva, Google Jamboard, Google Suite, so the Drive, Docs, Classroom Forms, Padlet, Pear Deck, Canvas, Google Classroom, Schoology, Connected Camps, Minecraft, Roblox, Edpuzzle, Flipgrid, Loom, and YouTube. So all of those are the approved, okay? So, hey, that's kind of cool. So that's a good thing to do. And then there's more policies. Let's go back over here. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think about this new change? Is this going to like totally affect you? Or is it like, okay, well, that's okay. I can live and learn, but I'll at least say no. What's going on in your head? Let us know. The next one is about a group listing. So we talked about groups last week as they're starting to get out there. Here are the tips on how to make a good group. Again, it's a kind of long read, so I'm just going to summarize a little bit here, okay? Groups. 1, establish your role as moderator. So you are the moderator. You do not have to interact with every single post that's going on. Really, the learners should interact with the other learners. Now, if you only have one learner in your group, go ahead and interact with them. Give them a little bit of, back and forth a little bit. So the groups are like paid by month, like $5 a month, $10 a month. And there's access to kind of like a Facebook group of posts and comments, but it's not on Facebook. It is in the Outschool platform, but it has pictures and it has kind of fun stuff. I have not been able to explore it yet, but it looks pretty cool. So number 2 is remember that groups are not flex classes. Okay, so groups and flex classes do have fewer live interactions, but flex classes focus on specific learning objectives and provide pre-recorded learning components. So there's lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, you go through it for flex. Now groups, it's more like a show and tell kind of class, okay, where the teacher shows an idea, the students go, wow, I like that. And they show an idea with a picture or video, and it's back and forth. So it's kind of a collaboration. 3 is create an example post. So when you create a group, make sure you put a sample post of what kinds of things are going to be in your group. 4 is design your listings for ages 10 plus. So groups are just for ages 10 to 18. Okay, not for the younger kids, 10 to 18. So make sure it's best suited for that age group. These students are old enough to access Outschool on their own in the learner profile and do everything on their own. There really shouldn't be that many parents helping out in there, because like my daughter's 5, so I often kind of pretend I'm her when I'm talking to the teacher. It's more parent led, but when you're 10, it can be more student led. They can do this, so it's kind of nice. Now parents, if you want to peek in to see what they're doing, that's fine, but it's more student led. Consider hosting live meetings. Hey, you could have like I don't know, an office hour live meeting time. You can get together, like a group meetup. That's kind of fun. And then you have and here's a sample group listing of like a baking thing. So here's something you can read about. If you have any questions about groups, I'm not the one to ask because I haven't made a group yet, but there are a lot of people on Facebook that have been, and they can help you with that. Okay, let's keep going. An educator guide to pods. Pods are really cool. I've been a part of a pod this summer, and then again this fall. 2 pods this fall, and they've been really fun because it's a team of teachers working together to create a whole learning environment for the learners, which is cool. So there are 2 different pods you can do, and they're now opening it up to all teachers right now. So quick question, have you been in a pod, or do you want to be in a pod? Do you want to even know what a pod is? What's a pod? It's a pod of peas. It's a pea pod, right? Right, it's a pod right there. Yeah, no, okay. Okay, so a pod is a group of learners that stay together with multiple teachers. Okay, so you can create a private pod. Now this one, okay, let's say that you have some teacher friends and you want to get together. Like say you have a reading teacher, a math teacher, and a science teacher, okay? And they kind of want to go together to create this full curriculum. Well, right now students have to find a science teacher and then a different math teacher and then a different reading teacher. We say, no, we 3 work together and we're going to create cohesive themes and units. So what you have to do in a private pod is say, here's my math class. When you sign up for this one, here's the link for science and reading or whatever I said, I don't know. Here's the link for the other classes. When you sign up for all 3 classes, you consider a pod. Okay, then the learners will take math one day, science the other day, reading the other day. So they hit all of them. And it's like a group of students that kind of go whoop, whoop, whoop into different classrooms. Okay, there will still be 3 different class links to go into, 1 per teacher, but you will hopefully have the same students because kind of grouped together. Okay, so the best way to do that is to message the families, put it in the class description. I did see one pod who said, if you enroll in all 3, and we confirm it with the other teachers, we will give you a discount for the whole class. And they really want to have the same learners in all of them, not just like, I just want to take this math class. They'll have a separate math class for the non-pod people, but they'll have the pod people. The pod people. Okay, now this is the one that I've been in, the participating Outschool pods. There's a teacher called Outschool Pods on Outschool, and they have a list of pre-existing pods that we made this fall. Many of us are going to continue in the spring, and then you can also add more in there. So I do want you to submit a form for them to make sure that they like what you're doing and it's approved. Okay, one of my pods is called the All Stars, and we have movement, art, and science. Those three, we meet 5 times a week. And so we have the same kids, the same, 5 to 8 or 10 kids that move with us. There's one classroom for it. There's one link for the students. They click on All Stars and go live meeting, and they just come up and they open up to whoever's teaching that day. So we each take turns teaching. I'm also in a group called Bright Horizons, which we meet 3 days a week or 2 days a week, and there's one teacher per day. We do reading, math, and science. I'm doing the math and science. We do circle time, music, and Spanish, so that those young learners, ages like 4 to 6, get exposure to all 5 in their preschool, and they can have the full kind of curriculum without having to search for other teachers. We meet at the same time every day, consistent for the learners, which is kind of cool. So you can look through here for any information. Here's some policies for listening to pod, some standards, class types. Pretty much you can't do ongoing because they want to be the same students over and over. So the typical way is multi-day course. And what we've been doing is 1 month at a time. So there's wave 1, they pay for 1 month sum. And then in the last week of that wave, you say, here's the link to your new class in wave 2. They click that link and they enroll in wave 2. And then that one, they enroll in wave 3. So you can have consistent students as you go. Now we have openers up to other new students, and they can join in any wave. And the students are like, great, new friends, come on in. So they're fine with that. So that's kind of fun, but they are consistent for a month, and then they can kind of change a little bit. Or you can also create a pod experience as an organization. If you already have an organization with a group of teachers, you can make a pod with those group of teachers. Sure. Okay, one last thing. I know this is a lot. Okay, sorry, 2 more things. Oh my goodness, so much. Okay, first off, any questions about pods? Listen below. I'll do my best to answer it. If I don't know, I'll help you find it. Copyright and trademarks. Okay, this has been a touchy issue for a long time on Outschool because we are being paid to teach these things. We're not using them for free like a classroom teacher is. I mean, they get paid from a different place, but we're not. Outschool is kind of making a profit. We are making a profit from somebody else's work through Outschool. So we have to be careful with what we use. Now, I'm not a copyright expert. All I know is just be careful. Okay, so there's a little short video in there. It's like 2 minutes long. Pretty much what I got from the video is that if you're going to use any kind of characters or trademark things, don't put it in the class title. Don't say Lego class or maybe Disney princess is okay, but if you list the names of the princesses, maybe not so good, but you can have it in the class description. So a lot of people doing brick building class. Okay, we know that brick building equals Legos, or we know that clay modeling equals Play-Doh. Okay, we can't use the word Play-Doh, but then you can use it in your class listings or your description later on, but you can't do it as a title or that little subtitle for searching. Okay, so just be careful of trademark things and copyright things in your classroom. Make sure that you're free to use it with thumbnails and stuff. When in doubt, make your own. Make your own thumbnails, make your own worksheets, make your own everything. Then you don't have to worry about it because you own it. Okay, last one, holiday classes. Holidays around. We've got Thanksgiving coming up. We've got Christmas coming up. We have all other kinds of holidays coming up. So just be aware and be careful as you go into these holiday units of what you talk about, what you share about. If you do Thanksgiving, make sure you also mention the Indigenous people side of it. The traditional Thanksgiving stories that we grew up with is not very accurate. So be careful if that's the way that you want to, well, actually don't present it that way. Stick to more of Thanksgiving type things and thankfulness, gratitude, that's fine. Christmas, there's a whole meet and greet with Santa Claus requirements. If you want to play Santa, make sure you click that to know how to best do that. And that's it. Yay. Whew. Did you hang in there? How was that? Wow. Well, thank you, Teacher Casey, for letting me come on your channel today. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you next week about the same time, same place on Saturday mornings. It'll be either me or Teacher Casey or Teacher Kelly or a whole bunch of people. You never know what you're going to get, right? Kind of like life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Except yumminess, right? Yummy. So yummy. Okay, guys, you have a great day, everybody. Bye.